r/ask Reddit. If social media was around in your childhood, what embarrassing moment would you be famous for? Oh, I've got a good one. I was 7 years old and my parents were hosting a family and friends gathering at home. I mostly stayed out of the way and played video games in the living room, and adults would ask me what I was playing and whatever. It was nice. A few hours into the party I wanted some soda. I go to the fridge and see one of those little ice-breaking hammers and proceed to stick my tongue to it like the cartoons did to have a laugh. I pulled it off immediately and there was blood everywhere. I ran out crying with my bloody tongue out, to the absolute horror of every single adult. Now, you'd think this would be the viral moment. But no. A family friend that was a doctor was there and he came over to me, saw my tongue and told me it's fine. I just need you to spit out some blood so I can get a better look. I proceeded to spit my mouth full of blood just straight to his face. Every single person that saw it lost their shit laughing. Even the doctor. Did you lost your taste on foods, or it was completely fine? Oh, I was absolutely fine. Tongue healed in a couple of days and all I got to eat was cold food. Pooping on the floor between arcade games at age 7 so I wouldn't lose my place in line to play Gauntlet. I lost my place in line. I wonder why. Poop wasn't big enough. Not embarrassing, but I ruined a magic show once. The magician said he needed a good kid to help him. I declared myself a good kid and walked on stage. I then proceeded to ruin the trick by pointing out the ball he made disappear was behind the table. He then sent me away. See, why does the magician do this? Does he think a young kid will get the hint not to ruin the trick? I don't actually remember the event due to being so young, but that guy is clearly a hack. Was in choir and had an upset stomach, so was laying down while everyone else was practicing. Adults thought I was faking it, so made me get up and sing with everyone. A few minutes later I puked all over another kid. They let me go home after that. Oh god, I'm sorry. Mine was similar. Mum thought I was faking and still took me to the lame nature walk when I said my stomach really hurt. Kids club were on a trip there and all stopped to watch me throw up everywhere repeatedly for a while. It was so embarrassing. Similar here. My teacher thought I was being picky about eating peas and sweet corn, so force fed me all of them and I threw up but caught it in my mouth, so I laid it out gently in a circle around my plate. It was quite thick. I got to go home after that, but I have hated peas and sweet corn ever since. I, 14M at the time, was at my sister's hockey banquet. 300 girls, babes, in attendance. As the speaker approached the podium, Don Cherry for you hockey fans. I was leaning back on my chair. Indeed, I leaned too far. I began to fall back on the chair and grabbed the tablecloth to hang on to. I ended up pulling the entire KFC food party banquet food onto my head and lap. Gravy included. My elbows also hit the piano keys behind me, making a massive B-flat note throughout the gymnasium. When Mr. Cherry got to the microphone he said, "Thank you, maestro." I died a little that day. I was at the airport. Hadn't seen my dad since I got back. Saw a guy with a blazer like my dad's. Jumped onto this random stranger's back as he's looking for his luggage. He must have been so confused. At least you didn't get on the wrong plane and end up in NY. Trying to impress my crush by showing him how high I could kick, I slipped and broke my wrist. Not before landing directly into your crush's arms, am I right? Extreme camel toe doing a Barbie girl number at the talent show. First time Barbie ever had something between the legs. Farting in my dad's face after asking him to check out a lump on my butt. I don't know how old you are, but you'll likely be getting crap about that until your dying day. I had a stomach bug once in middle school and the ducking nurse didn't believe me. I may have cried wolf before. I suffered through school all day until finally my last period. We were taking a test and I asked my teacher if I could go to the bathroom, and before I could finish speaking I projectile vomited over her shoulder and mostly into the trash can. The jock in the class was like, "Whoa, your throw up looks like Sprite." And even in my stupor I was like, "What the duck?" My teacher made the horse girl walk me to the nurse with the soiled trash bin, and horse girl was actually super cool about it. Told me not to be embarrassed and took my mind off it by talking about horses. Classic horse girl. In 5th grade I was in a school musical production where in one song I was the boogie woogie reindeer, and during the song I was supposed to dance. Well, My mom had just showed me the movie Coyote Ugly, so I thought the best course of action was to dance like the girls in that movie. I'm sure there's still a home video out there of the 5th grade boy dancing like a stripper. Not a moment, but years, with a perm. You're lucky that perms, despite their name, aren't permanent. When I was about 14, a large male ostrich outrageously flirted with me, doing a full mating dance, leaning back, crouching and flailing his wings. My family and family friends witnessed the maniacal monochromatic mother ducker and nearly died from laughing so hard. I was mortified. Fortunately, I never saw him again. And how are your weird ostrich human hybrid children doing? Moved houses and my brother's room was where the old bathroom was. Sleep walked in and peed right in his face, asserting dominance. Imagine being the mom and hearing your kid scream in the middle of the night, "Your sibling just peed all over me." Like, what do you do as a parent in that situation? My friend and I thought it would be fun to recreate Jackass and title it Jackbot. We were like 11-12. Instead of doing anything actually dangerous, we would take the truck's wheels off our skateboard and do stupid tricks on a trampoline and then make a hand signal and yell Jackbot at the camera. I am glad the recording on VHS was lost to the world. The time I drank a whole bottle of ketchup and proceeded to throw it all up. Then my mom walked in and thought I was vomiting blood and screamed. I was maybe 3 years old but still remember that. Your poor mom. I'm sure that was terrifying at the time, but hilarious in hindsight. My friend and I used to choreograph dances for various songs, Barbie Girl being one of our best, and record it on her dad's video camera. I hope to God no one ever finds those tapes. That's not too bad, especially when you consider most young kids are doing the same thing now with cringy TikTok dances. My mom took a lot of pictures of me crying when I was young. I was a teenager when I found them, and even then I was all WTF. I am positive that they would all be on SM. It was complicated. No, I do not know why she did it. I do know that I received the least of the questionable interactions of all my siblings. I prefer to think that I was a beautiful toddler who cried gracefully. What you gonna do? Did you just maybe cry a lot more than your siblings? We always joke about my cousin that no matter which group photo we have with her in it, she's always crying. Maybe. I wouldn't count it out. All the photos are of me alone. No one else is in the photo. The time I got my period at 11 and someone pointed out blood on my skirt, I went to the bathroom to see what was happening and ran out screaming that I was dying. Everyone saw. Good times. In my first sex ed class, we were talking about what happens when you go through a puberty, starting with girls. A girl from the back raises her hand and says, "You get boobs." I raise my hand. "What are boobs?" To explain. I was very isolated. We had no TV at home, and the word boob just simply wasn't in our vocabulary. Plus, this was shortly after switching schools and languages. But let's not kid ourselves. This would have been all over social media regardless. I was around 8 or so and my first time seeing a men's urinal inside a McDonald's restroom. I thought to myself, what a weird sink, and proceeded to wash my hands on it by literally smearing my hands on the surface of the urinal where the water flows. Got back to our table and told my mom about it. I don't know it was possible for someone to gasp, laugh, cry, and be embarrassed at the same time. I'm pretty sure other people from surrounding tables overheard it. Social media wasn't really used back then. Facebook's still on its early stages. Exhibit A. 13-year male me, wearing a spiked choker, spiked leather gloves and a Green Day hat purposely tilted to one side, over my eye, regularly. Exhibit B. Me and my friends at a smoking spot, me needing a good old diarrhea shit, taking said shit and wiping my ass with my underwear. One of my friends tried to take a photo of the underwear, so I had to sprint, grab them and hurl them into a field. Exhibit C. Drinking a liter of whiskey, eating roughly 15-20 hamburgers, passing out and shitting my pants. All at a ballroom dance competition at Pontons and Bream Sands, white trash holiday resort in UK. My mom was in college when I was about a baby, so sometimes she'd have to take me. Well, one time we were in the computer lab during finals week, in the age before autosave, and I guess I got away by crawling under the tables. I found this nice glowing switch under there and apparently wanted to give it a press. Well, suddenly the entire lab shut off and about 30 people lost good knows how much work. She rushed me out of there totally freaked out before anyone got an idea of what happened. She saved your life that day. When I was in 2nd grade, I got stuck in a baby swing at a playground and the fire department had to use the jaws of life to cut me out of it. So glad Facebook didn't exist back then, or I'm sure that one of the adults present would have posted pictures of that crap. I've said it before and I will say it again. I thank God every single day that social media was not a thing until after I had already graduated from college. Growing up without social media was the best. When you left school, all your school problems stayed there. There was no cyberbullying. The most you had to deal with was someone calling and asking if your refrigerator was running, or doing a Bart Simpson and asking to speak to IC, Twiner or something. As for what I would be embarrassed for, I've got 2 words for you. Butt cut. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.